Howdy, this is Al Murray, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the planets Venus and Jupiter and where they've been in the sky. We haven't seen much of Venus for all of 2011, and the reason why is that Venus has been on the other side of the Sun from us, as we can see from here. Meanwhile, Jupiter is enough away from the Sun that it's been up most nights. As we progressed through the summer, we see that Venus went from the morning sky around about into the evening sky, still very close by. Meanwhile, we see that Jupiter was very high in the night sky all the time. However, Venus on its inside track is going faster than the Earth is around the Sun and caught up with us. As we see in early November, Venus was far enough away from the Sun that we were able to see it just after sunset, before it actually set. Meanwhile, of course, there's Jupiter still very high in the night sky. Continuing on a little bit further, into early December, we see that Earth to Venus and Earth to Jupiter are almost 90 degrees out, and Venus is now setting almost an hour and a half after the Sun, which means that we see both Jupiter and Venus in the night sky. Around the time of the solstice, we saw, again, Venus very high in the sky. Move up till today, the 31st. Happy New Year's, everyone. And we see that Venus is up for about two and a half hours after the Sun sets. And Jupiter does not set until just before sunrise. It's very bright in the sky. Let's see what's going to happen through January, February, March of 2012. Let's continue on a little bit. As we see, Venus is catching up. By the end of January, Venus is still only about 2 hours behind the Sun, but it's getting closer to Jupiter, which seems to be moving further westward in our sky. Continuing on a little bit further, we see that Venus and Jupiter are very close to each other now, with Venus appearing just to the west of Jupiter in the sky at the beginning of March. Will it catch up? Let's find out. Here we are, March 24th, and we see that indeed Venus has caught up to Jupiter and passed it. Now Venus is on the east side of Jupiter. As the year progresses and we see the Earth moving further along, we're going to lose Jupiter into the daylight sun. Similarly, we'll lose Venus. But an interesting thing is that Venus is going to go between Earth and the Sun. And sometime in June, we'll actually witness a transit where Venus goes between the Earth and the Sun and crosses the disk of the Sun as seen from the Earth. Let's watch that. Here we go into April. Jupiter is now totally in the daylight sky. We won't see it for another 5 or 6 months. Venus is also in the daylight sky, and here we look at the line between Earth, Venus, and the Sun, and we see that Venus has caught up to the Earth, passed inside of it. Meanwhile, late in the morning sky, we may still see Jupiter, but not much. Coming up into next summer, and here again, Venus and Jupiter appear lined up, much like they did in early spring. But they're on the other side of the Sun from us, and now they're both coming back into the evening sky. Moving along a bit into August of next year, September of next year, whereas before Venus was behind Jupiter, now it's far in front of Jupiter. Jupiter still high in the night sky. As we come through wintertime of next year, we see that once again, Venus has disappeared into, it's disappearing, hasn't fully disappeared. We'll see it a little bit an hour or two before sunrise, and Jupiter again be high in the winter sky. So that's what's going on with Venus and Jupiter this year. So we see from December 31st, 2011 to December 31st, 2012, the position of Venus is very different, whereas the position of Jupiter has only moved a little bit due to its longer transit. So enjoy the new year. Enjoy looking at Venus and Jupiter in 2012. And remember, go outside and look up.